Welcome to Parenting Your Sensitive Child. Parenting a highly sensitive child can feel overwhelming, and all the parenting books in the world can only get you so far if your head and your heart are out of alignment with your child's. I'm your host, Julia McGarry. Let's create a new parenting paradigm. Hey y'all, welcome to episode 78. It's the last episode of 2022, and before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you for being here, for sharing this journey, for showing up for yourself, and for understanding when I had to push this episode back a week due to COVID. I'm my own production team at this point, and I honestly did not have the endurance to show up for you here the way I wanted to last week, so thank you for understanding. And since last week didn't go as I had planned, it got me thinking about how much power we tend to give to our circumstances. For example, we tend to attribute our emotions to our circumstances, whether it's feeling down because you have COVID, or feeling on edge because your child is having more meltdowns lately. When you attribute your emotions to your circumstances, you create a trap for yourself. You give yourself no other option but to wait for your circumstances to change or to go out and change them, right? If you're doing this, you might feel stuck or hopeless or defeated. And this is a connection that nearly all of us make. We feel bad when our circumstances are bad. The problem is that we assume that our circumstances are causing our emotions, and we completely overlook an essential factor, and that's the way that we're thinking about our circumstances. Back when I was teaching yoga, I liked to talk about the stories that we tell ourselves. There's our experience in any given moment, and then there's what we're telling ourselves about our experience. And if we can step back and observe, we can start to see the storylines that we have woven throughout our days. And that's essentially what I'm talking about here, too. In any situation you find yourself in, you have your circumstances, and then you have the story that you're telling yourself about your circumstances. Sometimes the story is so deeply ingrained that you can't see it. It feels true. It feels like the facts. But whether you can see the story or not, it's your story, not your circumstances, that is creating your feelings. I find this particularly helpful to talk about around the holidays because there are so many feelings, positive and negative, tied into this time of year. Overwhelm, joy, grief, pressure, more joy, disappointment. It's all across the board, right? Everyone has a different experience of the holiday season because everyone has a different story about their circumstances. So if you find yourself feeling stuck over the next few weeks, try asking yourself what story you're attending to. When you allow yourself to get curious about what you're thinking, you create an opportunity to decide if you want to keep thinking that way. Do you want to keep telling yourself the same story, or do you want to tweak it? Do you want to keep telling yourself that your kid's energy makes you feel edgy, for example? Or do you want to shift it to something that gives you more credit, gives you more agency? Something like, it's safe to relax because I'm good at reading the room. I can sense the energy rising and find ways to channel it before it gets to be too much for me. Or you might make it even simpler. I can tell when I'm getting overwhelmed, and I know how to take care of myself in those moments. You want it to be something that feels true for you, something that you can direct yourself back to and really believe. Both of those examples work pretty well for me, but they might not work for you. You have to find something that feels true for you, that's your words, that makes sense to you. And simpler is better. Both of the examples that I gave you are a little bit long, but they work for me because they help me create a sense of safety, a sense that I can start to relax, even with a lot of things going on around me, because I know how to handle it when things do escalate. I don't have to sit here thinking about things escalating and feeling edgy, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Do you see what I'm saying? So you want to find something that helps shift your energy, helps create a sense of safety for you. And it may look like my thoughts, it may be a little bit different. The important thing is, if you're feeling stuck, start to get into the habit of asking yourself, what story are you telling? Is it a story that you want to hold on to? Or is it a story that you want to rewrite? I hope that gives you something to think about over the next few weeks. I hope it helps you generate a little bit more peace for yourself, even if your circumstances seem really chaotic. And I will talk to you in January. I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks. I'll see you in the next episode. Do you feel like you're parenting 24/7 and you're still not sure your child is getting what they need? Are you ready to stop parenting reactively and start living in partnership with your sensitive child? Are you ready to reclaim time for yourself and time for your dreams? Then you're going to want to explore coaching with me. I help my clients tune out all the noise, better understand their kids, build a parenting strategy that meets their family's specific needs, and do the mindset work necessary to implement that strategy consistently without sacrificing themselves in the process. To get started, just head over to partnerpath.com, click on coaching, and get your free consultation set up. Let's get to know each other.